A few videos ago, I mentioned I was going to be showing some of the things that I have in my goat medicine cabinet. So today I want to start with one that seems a little bit funky. I'm not a huge beer drinker myself. I only like sour beer, to be honest, but there are a few reasons that I now keep that nasty dark beer on hand, and it's not for my enjoyment. Welcome back. If this is your first time, my name is Jillian from Only Goats Farm, and we talk about raising goats and other homesteading things here. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We are on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers and we're almost there. So beer is actually a new addition to my goat medicine staples, but it's one that I personally think is underrated and not really talked about. If you do a search here on YouTube, you're not going to find a whole lot about it, but I was told about it, I tried it and tested it, and I saw some amazing results from what I contribute to using dark beer. So I want to make sure that I have a few on all times just in case. I do want to note first, I am not a vet. None of this is medical advice, and of course you should have and consult your livestock vet before you do anything new, including this. So a few months ago, I had a first freshener. She had twin boys and she wasn't making enough milk. I went on the goat pages on Facebook and everybody had some different tips to increasing her milk supply, but beer was the one that got me. But if you think about it, drinking dark beer was something that I heard as a mom to increase my own milk production, so I could see it working for goats too. I did some research and I found out that farmers have been giving beer to their livestock for ages, which gives the whole whiskey for my men, beer for my horses a new meaning. This was Honey on day one. She was definitely in the itty bitty committee. I was able to manually express some colostrum and her kids were eating fine, but she didn't bag up at all yet and I was a little bit worried. On day two, her one kid went hypothermic. I'm not sure if it was the quick temperature change that we had, because the temperature dropped really quickly, or if he just wasn't eating enough. Both kids were fine, and then all of a sudden Ferdinand was weak and hypothermic. If you want to see more about what we did for him, I did a whole other video on that you can watch here. I will try to remember to put a link up here or here, wherever it is, when you're watching this. Days 2 and 3, there wasn't too much of a change and she was still in the itty bitty committee. So at the end of day 3, I went out and I gave her half a beer. In the morning, her bag looked like this, so it was doing better. I did some more beer in the morning, and then later on she looked like this. So we were able to go from this to this. I completely believe that it has to do with giving her beer. So why is this? And keep in mind, I'm just a homesteader. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a vet. I just had to do some research to figure out why this may have had something to do with giving her beer. First of all, dark beer contains certain nutrients like hops, barley, and yeast that can stimulate milk production. So the nutrients that are in these can provide additional energy and micronutrients for increased lactation. There's something in hops called phytoestrogens, and phytoestrogens mimic estrogen in the body, and estrogen is known to increase milk production. And there are certain compounds in beer that may have the potentials to stimulate the release of prolactin, which is a hormone that's responsible for milk secretion and synthesis, right? And dark beer contains yeast, which could potentially influence the gut health of a goat. So a healthy gut is crucial for nutrient absorption and overall health, which could indirectly impact milk production. So overall, a healthy goat, you get more milk. I am curious though, if you've ever had a goat that needed a little bit of help getting going, making her milk, what did you do? Let me know in the comments. And have you, or would you ever share a beer with your goat? There's another time I had a goat that had just had a kid and she became anemic, and she had just been dewormed not that long ago. I tried another class of dewormer, and then I was like, well, you know what? Look, there's something here that says that dark beer can help a compromised rumen, so let's give it a shot. When a goat has a severe barber pole worm infestation, it can affect the abomasum, which is what we call their true stomach. So goats have 4 parts to their stomach. The abomasum is the part that releases digestive enzymes. So when the barber pole worm messes up the stomach lining, it makes it harder for the goats to digest the food and actually get the nutrition from the food that they need to be at optimum health. And knowing that beer also contains some iron, I decided to give it a shot. I treated her the same way that I would treat any anemic goat, but I also gave her half a beer. Now, I know there's no way to actually prove this, especially considering I can't tell how she would have improved without the beer, but I honestly believe that half a beer a day helped her get better faster. Do my goats like beer? I've seen quite a few things on the internet saying that their goats enjoy beer, and I can tell you right now that mine do not. To give my goats beer, I had to drench them. So you want to make sure you open up ahead of time, get it warm, get it stale, and then use the drench gun. And if your goats are, you know, if they end up liking beer, you might be able to give it to them like just in a bowl, but I didn't experience that. In terms of what kind of beer, they say the darker the better. Guinness is usually recommended. My gas station, when I ran down to get some, they didn't have any, so I just grabbed the only dark beer they had. Is there anything strange that you keep in your medicine cabinet for your goats? Let me know in the comments if there's anything that like most people will be like, what? I think beer is one of those things. If you learned anything from this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up to let me know. I will be coming out with a video in the future going through the other contents of my goat care box. I guess it's not really a medicine cabinet, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And in the meantime, I will see you over here in this playlist where we talk about goat care.